Hello, my name is Tanner Zelm, and today I'm going to be presenting on the types of communication within the field of engineering. So first, we'll start with an overview. So today I'll be talking about face-to-face communication, email communication, communications in business meetings, presentations, and an interview. I gained most of my information from my experience working at my internship, along with talking to my boss from that internship. Okay, so first we'll talk about face-to-face communication. This type of communication can be both formal and informal, depending on the situation you're in. If you are talking to, say, your boss or a company executive or someone like important within the communication, it'll typically be very formal. If you're talking to like a colleague of yours about where you're going for lunch or just like what their plans for the weekends are. This can also be very informal, so it's pretty flexible. When people are having a face-to-face communication, they're obviously close together and are having a personal conversation or work-related. From my experience and from talking with my boss, we both agree that this was the most type of communication used within engineering, just because it's like the quickest and easiest way to get answers for questions, or since you're all within like one building, it's easy to just walk a couple cubicles down and ask your question in person. So next we will be talking about email. So this type of communication is always very formal, or not always, but most of the time it's formal. It is typed on a computer and sent from one colleague to another. A formal greeting and closing are typically expected. However, there are circumstances where they aren't required. This communication method makes it easy for reaching people that are not like within close proximity to you, where you can just send it through the computer. Within the engineering department, we used emails quite a bit. We use them mainly for sending files or communicating with the customer. So if we had like a part file that we needed to send to another engineer or to the customer, we would do that. Also, whenever I needed to communicate with our customer, we always sent emails. Could use a phone call. However, in our business, we used emails. So then the next topic I will be talking about is a business meeting. This type of communication is very formal. It's typically like one person talking at a time, and then like an audience or the other people in the area will talk back and either express their opinions, respond if it's a question, or just like comment on what they said. It is typically face to face, but you can also incorporate Skype in there. So you can have like a video chat, or you can call in on a phone and have just the audio. In my experience, we used business meetings in the engineering field commonly for updating like the engineering department on new rules and regulations. And then I think it is every Friday, we had a business meeting with the whole engineering department to kind of update all the other engineers on what progress you made for like certain projects, or if you needed help, you could ask for help then. Or it was just kind of like a session for updating each other on what you were doing. So then the next one is presentations. This type of communication is very formal. It's typically like one person or a group of people presenting an idea and concept in front of an audience. The single person or group will do most of the talking. However, at the end or during the presentation, there may be questions from the audience or possibly comments. These presentations are typically done like face to face, all within the same room. However, you can incorporate Skype. You don't typically use phone calls very much because presentations typically have a lot of visuals, which makes it impossible to see if you're just on the phone, which is why Skype is a preferred method if you can't be in the building. In my experience with the engineering field, we use presentations a lot to share like information, or we commonly use it to share like our results if we are doing projects or some testing. So with that, you would have like the data you used or you found, the parameters, maybe some visuals, all wrapped up within a PowerPoint, and then you would kind of walk the audience through it with like a group of people or by yourself possibly. So then the last type of communication I'm going to talk about today is an interview. This type of communication is very formal. It's typically like a question and answer format with the interviewer asking questions and the interviewee answering them. The questions are mainly like open-ended questions, and the responses from the interviewee will answer or will vary. This can be done online, in person, or even over the phone. It typically is 2 people, however, there is a possibility to have like a small group all within there. And in the engineering field and many other fields, it's used to find out if like the person they're interviewing is suitable for the position or if they're qualified, and if not, kind of rules them out. There may be several stages of this. You may do like a phone call interview before they bring you in for like a final in-person interview to see if you're a match for the position. So the interview can vary from situation to situation. All right, so that is the end of my presentation today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the reply section on Canvas. Other than that, thank you for listening today.